Welcome back, everyone. I'm Crane Bramp, your old brainiacs, and this is a brand new update in Night of the Dead that is absolutely stuffed to the gills with things. So, grab you a cup of whatever strong you've got, and let's dive right into it and find out what's going on. Night of the Dead has updated to version 1.2.0.14 alpha, and it's chock full of new stuff for us to dig through. Everything from updated character customization, character occupations, traits, both positive and negative, complete difficulty customization, and more. This is a big, meaty update and will require its own update video, thus this video. Also, all of the stats and information for the new occupations and traits are in a Google spreadsheet that I've made, which you can find a link to in the description. So, before we get started, I want to thank you for dropping by, hanging out with the community, and watching the video. And I hope that today is the day I earn that like and subscribe. So, let's get right into what Night of the Dead has to offer. To start off, this new version is incompatible with old saves, which means that you'll need to scrap your old run and start a new one to play this version. Not a huge deal, as with the new character system, you're going to want a fresh run anyway. That also means, for those of you watching it, that we'll be moving on to Season 2 of our Night of the Dead playthrough, since obviously we can't use the old save in the new version. And as a quick reminder, as we go through these sections, I'm going to be moving fairly quickly. But remember that you can always pause on your side, and I encourage you to do so. When you first hit play, you'll be shown the new Select Character screen. Since you now have full customization capabilities, you needed a way to possibly have more than one character to use, and you can do that here. Different names, different appearances, different skills, different occupations, and so on. The default character is there, so if you just want a quick start and don't want to mess with anything, you can pick her and just move on. After selecting a blank character portrait, then you move on to the customization screens, of which there are a ton. You have basic, face customization, hair, eyebrows, eyes, nose, mouth, jaw area, mustache, beard, tattoos, and a chance to reset your customization and start all over, which I'm sure you'll need at some point. Each section of the customization has a nice selection of options, except weirdly enough, I couldn't find anything to change the character's eye color. Not that affects playability, but it was just a note for those who might have been looking for it like me under all these hundreds of options, but you can't do eye color. So basic, as we see before us, allows us to choose our sex, male or female, along with skin color and some hair color choices. Moving on to the face section, these are simply preset faces. You have 20 faces for males and 20 faces for females. You select a face you're happy with, and just move on. I wish it was that easy for me. I'd like to replace mine. Hair is the same as faces, with 12 sets of hair for both male and female. And an important note I want to point out is that hair, mustaches, and beards are all interchangeable. That's right. Beards can go on women. Women's hairstyles can go on men. And you can come up with some, shall we say, interesting combinations. Never let it be said that you don't have choices. The eyes, nose, mouth, and jaw area are simply customizable sliders for each of those features. It's pretty simple. Slide your sliders around, find something you like, or something truly hideous, and then run with it. Mustache and beard are back to pre-made hair choices, but much more limited. You only have a total of 6 mustaches and 4 beards. As a beard wearer myself, I feel slightly robbed here, but you know, what can you do, man? Finally, there are the tattoos, which interestingly enough are all face tattoos. There's everything from the mundane to the truly exotic, or just plain weird. And I will say that with the options for swapping hair, beards, and mustaches onto both sexes with the tattoos, you can come up with some truly horrendous or interesting options, however you want to put it. Now, to round it out, you have a save load interface for storing all the glorious creations you've made. Now, we wouldn't want to lose them, would we? And although I did make some truly horrendous characters, here's a small fly around of the character that I decided I was keeping. I do like the textures, and they do look quite nice in the game. After character creation, your next step is your occupation and your traits, which allows every character to be unique. There are a total of 5 starting occupations, 20 positive traits, and 15 negative traits to customize your character with. Starting with occupations, they control A, how many trait points that you start with, which are used to purchase traits in this column, and B, what your stats are when you begin. For example, if you choose unemployed, which is the default, all your stats begin at 1 and you have 14 trait points. Each other occupation, you lose some of your starting points for increased stats. For example, the civil servant begins with increased attention and judgment, but only 10 talent points, while the soldier begins with a strength, vitality, and endurance of 3, and attention and judgment of 2, and 6 starting trait points. Now, the trait system works on a point system of negative and positive trait points. Positive traits cost you points, and negative traits give you trait points. The goal being trying to balance it out to 0 available points. Note that you don't have to have negative traits. They're simply there if you wish to. Also, again, as a reminder, I've done a full Google spreadsheet with all of the bonuses and descriptions, and you can find that link in the description. Once your character is done, you'll need to select your character at the character screen, choose whether you're playing single or multiplayer, and away you go. For those playing single player, you'll also get to pick your difficulty, even going so far, finally, as to have a fully customizable difficulty mode. Now, there are 7 basic difficulties: peaceful, easy, normal, hard, survival, challenge, and legend. And then finally, there's custom. Now, custom is truly a custom mode, as you can control just about everything in the game. A really nice addition. As you can see by the 4 customization screens here, you can control everything from zombie, natural objects and synthetic object respawns, to trap damage done, resource production amounts, building hit points, and more. If you were looking for extreme customization, then today is your day, because that wish has been fulfilled. Finally, we'll take a look at the in-game character screen. On the left, you have your stats. In the middle, you have equipable coils that you can find in-game as loot. And on the far right-hand side, you have your skills. In fact, while recording some background video for the game, I did find a coil, which you can see here, in the associated skills with it. Each time that you go up a level, you get a point. This can be spent in your attributes, 1 for 1, so don't feel like if you take an occupation that you're missing out on points and can't get them later on. You do have a chance to raise your stats. As a final note, I did notice some gameplay changes while playing, as well as a few new items. Refrigerators and bookcases are no longer broken down. They work like loot cache boxes, in that when you open them, you take the items out and then the container disappears. There were also a couple of new loot items, as well, as I found both the coil and some canned food inside a refrigerator. I'm sure that there are additional gameplay changes and additional items. These were just what I happened to find while I was recording some background video. As a closer, we'll get into the new items, such as armor and some new mechanics for the game. There's now a full armor system with slots for various pieces. A total of 4 armor material sets have been included. You have leather, bone, iron, and copper. Leather and bone can be created at the equipment workbench, while the metal sets can be created at the mechanical equipment workbench. There are also quality grades: general, superior, and rare, and zombies have a chance to drop better armor with a certain probability. You'll also want to note that there is a trait to increase zombie drops for rare items, and armor is upgradable using fishbone and scales. Wait, fishbones? Equipment modification workbench? Yeah, new stuff. So, as for fishing, there is now a full fishing system included in the game, where you'll be on the hunt for food and upgrades for your gear. Fishing rod and paste bait is crafted in the handmade tab. Fishing requires water above a certain level of depth or a fishing place, which can be found in the build, crafting, cooking tab, and is also upgradable. There are new researches for fishing, And you can also find clay to make a coil and the golden koi, which is used to reset your stats in game. The equipment modification bench allows you to do just that, equipment modification. This bench allows you to craft coils, attach coils to equipment, and also reassembly. Reassembly is another new mechanic. You can take 5 equipment items such as armor, and they can be reassembled into a single piece with a chance for a high-grade piece of the item that you're assembling. You can find that in the Build Crafting Equipment tab. And last but not least, we have the change logs, which I won't go over, but I'll include here so that you can read them. Just an absolute metric crap ton of stuff that's been added and patched. And there's also been a hot fix right after this, which is up on the screen. So if you want to go over what's been done since this update dropped, just check that. So that just about does it for the update overview, and I'm sure as we continue playing, we'll find out much, much more. Feel free to leave a comment down below if you found out something that I didn't include. So thanks for stopping by, and remember, if you like what you see, if you like what you saw, just hit that big red subscribe button. I really appreciate you guys showing up. Here's to more and better adventures in Night of the Dead. Peace out.